If you have teenagers, one thing they're really good at is arguing. But how do you fight smart with a teenager? Well, in my new book, The Successful Struggle, I did a lot of research on conflict. And I found out that there are two types of conflict. There's people-related conflict and task-related conflict. People-related conflict is where two people just don't like each other. They don't see eye to eye. They don't share the same values. They don't have the same goals. They are never going to get along. It might seem like that's the kind of conflict that you have with your teenager. You don't seem to be speaking the same language. You don't even really seem to like each other very much. But the conflict that you have with your teenager is not people-related conflict, even if it feels like it. It's actually task-related conflict disguised as people-related conflict, because teenagers take everything personally and they're feeling things very deeply and they have a lot of emotions and hormones. But it's really task-related conflict, because task-related conflict is about the hows and the whens of things. It's things like, you didn't fold my laundry the right way. You weren't home when you said you were going to be home. That's all task-related conflict. So if you're going to fight smart with a teenager, you have to keep it about the task-related issue. Keep it about the mechanics and the operations of what didn't work out, whether it was curfew or laundry or whatever it was. Now, your teenager is going to try to push your buttons and make it people-related. They're going to say things about you. Don't take the bait. If you want to fight smart with your teenager, keep it task-related conflict, not people-related, and you're going to have a lot easier time having the conversation with them. Don't let it escalate, even if they try. Keep it all about the tasks. Work out the operations. It's okay to tell them, you're not allowed to talk to me like that if they try to get personal or say rude things, but then always take it back to the task at hand. The next thing you want to do after you separate out the people-related conflict from the task-related conflict is you want to give them some power back. Teenagers lose their power. The world isn't working the way they want it to, and so much of teenagehood is a struggle to get some power. So when you're having an argument with them, you want to give them as much autonomy as you can. Let them come up with solutions to help solve the problem. I know when I'm talking to my now 22-year-old son, I try to give him advice without making it sound like it came from me. I might share with him a study or tell him, your Aunt Mallory tried this. And it always goes over so much better when it's not my idea or my advice and it comes from somebody else who, of course, is smarter than me because I'm his mom. So do two things. First, make sure you keep it task-related. Don't let your teenager make this a big people-related conflict issue. Focus on the operations and the tasks of what went wrong when you're arguing with them. And give them as much autonomy to problem solve as you can. Being the parent to a teenager and fighting with a teenager is never easy. But if you can do those two things, it's going to be good for everybody.